Johnny Dumbbell, what's good, fam?
How much, man? This show was not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Sorry.
Stop the cap.
Oh, Johnny, you know we have a lot of audience support. And shout out to everybody that's been liking the clips, sharing the clips, watching the shorts on YouTube. We appreciate the support. We're grateful for it. Thank you very much to each and every one of you.
In fact, give yourselves a like and subscribe. You deserve it.
Now, allow me to introduce myself. My name is William, and let me welcome you to my channel. It's called William the Conqueror, where I can show you how to conquer the hearts and minds of women the world over, but only if you have the ability to conquer yourself. Johnny, why don't you introduce yourself for everybody?
So, like Billy said, I'm Johnny Dumbbell. I'm a personal trainer and life coach here in beautiful Pittsburgh, PA. Not only am I a professional trainer, I am a professional screw-up. If there is a mistake to be made when it comes to love and relationships, I have made it. So if you're thinking about doing something risky, but you think it's romantic, do yourself a favor. Before you do it, put it in the comments and give us a chance to respond, because it's probably something around as dumb as we've done it. So I'm here to share my successes and my failures to make sure that you young men don't make the same mistakes that we made when it comes to self-respect, self-confidence, women in relationships, and personal growth. That means physical, mental, and emotional, spiritual, whatever you want to call it. In short, we are the uncles you never wanted.
That's what's up. Johnny, you got a short echo on your end.
I just fixed it.
All right. Appreciate that.
Here. Check. There we go.
Great job, Johnny. All right. Now, let me tell you something. We are here tonight to break down women's online dating profiles. And let me just explain why we do this real quick. Because we want you guys to learn that there's certain subtleties and nuances when it comes to women in general. And the things that they say publicly, that's not always what they respond to. So we're here to show you what you should be looking for, and if you're smart, what to avoid. And we do that like men do by leading by example. So I'm going to pull up my Bumble, and this is just the random women that Bumble give me. Now, I typically date women. I like to date women in their 30s. I do date women in their 20s from time to time, and women in their 40s. So this is a great opportunity for us to spread out these profiles and help you guys learn a little bit about women in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Because after all, Johnny Dumbbell and I have extensive experience when it comes to the lovely ladies. So we're here to share that knowledge with you. And hopefully, if you guys are smart, you'll be able to benefit from some of it.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, read between the lines, too. When we tell you we screwed up, we don't mean like we tripped over our shoelace, like I've said before. We mean that we made a poor choice that led to another poor choice that led to a series of poor choices. And, you can listen to how much fun it was up until that point, or you can maybe listen to the lesson we learned afterwards the hard way.
All right, Johnny, without further ado, let's bring up Bumble and see what kind of lovely ladies I'm working with tonight.
You know, that Mario sound always reminds me of that level 8-1, man. Fuck that level. I speak for all of Gen X when I say that.
All right, Johnny. Just a second here. You know, I hate to delete my Bumble messages all the time, but they're going to keep popping up during the show. I'm probably going to have to.
I don't know, man. I kind of want to see some sauce.
No, I'm not trying to give out all of that. Okay. We'll get there.
Just domestic alert.
All right, we'll get there. But for all intents and purposes tonight, we're here to talk about Jackie. First up, she's 24. She's a clinical research with some kind of pharmaceutical company.
I don't know where the hell that came from.
Yeah, neither do I, Johnny. Okay, it says essentially living out of a suitcase.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, I want to hear more, but I think I got an idea what's out here.
But DFW is my home base.
Okay.
Constantly traveling for work and leisure.
Mm.
You can either join me or give me an excuse to stay in one place for more than one day. What do you think of that, Johnny?
Well, I mean, as you know, one of my major boundaries, I don't date women who travel for work. I certainly don't date women who live out of their suitcase. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Look, if that's your career path and that's where it's taking you, great. But again, just like that suitcase you're living out of, you're going to come up with a lot of baggage from a lot of different places. Um, this is your, no offense, my nurses out there, but this is a lot of your traveling nurses. It's a lot of your flight attendants, things like that. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and just knowing that she's a very pretty girl, but I'm going to go ahead and swipe left on this one. Just because unless I think that this is going to turn into maybe a weekend or two of fun, this could be a casual hookup. Now, here's the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin is she travels a lot for work. Now, whether she's got a new in another city or not, or in every city, whatever it happens to be, that could mean that you could find yourself, if what you're looking for is something fun but non-committal, this might be right up your alley. If that's the case, I would swipe right. If you're looking for a commitment and the kind of relationship where you have that open communication, mostly because you're actually right there in front of or beside each other, I would definitely not swipe right and keep my hopes up. I would go ahead and swipe left if that's what you're actually looking
All right. Well, Johnny, essentially, as men, we should have standards. We shouldn't be operating based on our libido. We shouldn't be operating based on judgments and things we assume about a woman because of her looks. So I have a standard when it comes to dating, especially online dating. And I avoid bottom of the barrel bitches, Johnny. And a woman that's
for.
living
Dreaded
out of,
triple B.
yeah, a woman that's living out of her car.
Well, now, in all fairness, she didn't say she lived in her car, but she did say that she lives out of a suitcase because she's never home, or it's
Fair
never home,
enough.
whatever that happens to be. But no matter which one it is, you're right. I mean, the girl's a nomad, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the life you want to live, if that's what you got to do to find yourself, that's fine. But remember what most attractive modern women think finding themselves is.
Okay. Well, let's get back to our profile here. Hopefully we got a little something more to work with down here. I like that she says, give me an excuse to stay in a place for more than a day, because I could definitely do that. She'd end up relocating here.
Unless that's a bunch of fluff, a bunch of cap. That basically could also mean try really hard for me, because that usually means that if I get a hold of one of you simps, you'll spend some money. Again, I'm just throwing you the other side of the possible rusty coin here.
Okay. And Johnny, when I date women, I like to date women that have some modesty to them, some humility. Okay. And when I see them in skimpy little dresses, showing off all this skin, I don't know. It's not really what I'm looking for.
I mean, that's
Now,
not part of it that I care about. What I care about is the fact that she's throwing in the whole, you give me a reason to stay there, basically what she's saying, so that if she doesn't, you'll at least think it's your fault and you won't hate her rotten guts for skipping out on you. Number two, when you combine that with the fact that, again, this is a girl who travels a lot and probably has a few contacts out there that she gets in touch with, that if you're in a committed relationship with her, you probably wouldn't want her to do. I would say, again, swipe right for a good time, swipe left for a relationship.
all right, it says a non-negotiable is a keen appreciation for dark humor. Okay, I can work with that.
Bless that bitch.
And non-PC jokes.
I think the irreverency is kind of what I find the funniest about it most of the time anyway.
It says here, we'll get along if we both work long hours but still find time for travel, whining, and dining.
Bruh.
Johnny,
I hope you work long hours and make a lot per hour, because the following things that I'm listing are all things I expect you to do for me.
You know how I feel about
Immediately.
whining and dining. Taking women to sports events. Taking women to concerts. Going on movie dates. These are all horrible ideas, and this woman is leading these interactions. And what's probably, Johnny, guys
if
are
you're in an
probably
established relationship, that's one thing. This is not what
guys
you're
are
talking
probably
about.
asking her to go on these kind of dates.
Sure. And the thing of it is that these are probably a lot of guys that are leading with their wallet, like we always preach against doing. Why else does she feel entitled enough to list those kinds of things that we all know are, especially in this day and age, rather expensive? She says a sporting event, whining and dining. Well, why wouldn't she expect those things? If she does that, she's going to get a lot of responses from the guys who have a fat wallet and kind of a thick skull, too, because they're not going to get it through their head that this is just not a good idea.
All right, let's see if there's something else in here that may redeem her for me. I'm leaning towards swiping
I'm already
left.
out.
You already out?
I'm already out on this.
So she quotes too much from American
Well,
Psycho.
For love and romance, I'm out on this. For fun, yeah, I'd swipe right. She happened to be in the. She happens. If I'm single and she happens to be in the area, yeah, what the hell? I'm certainly not going to hang my hopes on a relationship with her, though.
Living out of a suitcase, I'm not rocking with that.
Hang your boxer briefs over her footboard, not your hopes on and dreams on her prom.
Johnny, I put my hopes and dreams on myself.
Nice.
All right. I got the preview.
Shout out to Four Roses Bourbon because I'm drinking and they're still not paying me for it.
All right. So I got to preview the next profile. Here's the deal. There's certain things that are in somebody's profiles that I don't want to show on YouTube, on Rumble, on Facebook, on all the social media platforms. And I am referring to children. So I need to jump back and forth between the screens and preview each profile to make sure that the woman that we're breaking down the profile of hasn't posted her children. So
while he's doing that, let me just remind you all. Sorry, I've been fighting a sore throat the last 2 days. Like we said in the previous podcast, and if it becomes a clip again, it becomes a clip again. But I'm going to remind you, my God, we are of the firm belief that your children do not belong in your romantic relationship-seeking profile photo. I don't care whether you're a man. I don't care whether you're a woman. I don't care if you have a golden retriever next door. I don't want to see your puppies in your personal life. All right, that's just not a place for them to be.
All right, Johnny. Next up, we got Selena. She's 27. Dental technician.
All right.
Johnny, there's no bio.
Bruh.
How often do we see that, though? Women in their 20s don't take the time to write a bio.
At least offer us a cleaning.
Says she drinks socially. So, that kind of gives me a little insight there. Okay, and let me elaborate. For all the people that are just watching us, Johnny and I have about 3 or 4 dates that we'll take women we just meet on. Date number 1, we'll meet them for coffee. We prefer, specifically me, I prefer a small mom and pop shop. And I can get into that a little bit later. You can ask me in the comments why, and I'll put you on the game.
And to my Pittsburgh peeps, if you're looking for some really great first date coffee shops, shoot me a comment or a DM, and I got a couple of really good spots.
Number 2, drinks. We meet at a bar of our choosing for a drink or 2. We're not having 10. We're not trying to get smashed with the woman because as a man, we have a certain responsibility. We want to make sure that woman gets back home safely. And if she has too much to drink, she can't drive herself, and it just becomes a problem on too many levels. So we're going to meet her for a drink or 2. Because remember, we're just trying to find out how compatible we are with some of these women. We might not even enjoy spending time with them. Date number 3, we like to go feed the ducks. The weather is changing. It's getting nice. There's duck ponds everywhere. They're coming back from the South. I promise you, gentlemen, you can find a duck pond to take that woman to.
Once again, bread is not good for them. It's actually very bad for them. Seeds, nuts, grapes cut in half. They love cherries, blueberries. That's what they eat.
Shout out to Johnny Dumbbell, an advocate for the Ducks. Like
Actually, I'm more of an advocate for nutrition. Fuck the Ducks.
Now, in date number 4, I like to go hiking with women, but that's kind of a personal preference of mine. And I like to date a lot of like hippie women who love to do outdoor stuff and be outside. So a date where you're going on a hike is a really inexpensive way to get to know a woman, to find out if the two of you might be compatible. So that's what we're working with. We're working with coffee. We're working with a drink or two. We're working with a duck pond or a nature trail. We are not taking women we don't know out to fancy dinners. We don't do that. Now, no bio on Selena. She drinks socially. Like I said, that gives me an insight. I would ask her to meet me for a drink somewhere. Instead of drinks, let's get drinks.
Bless that bitch.
I might be able to work with that, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, my opening line would be, I see you're a social drinker. Let's be social and have a drink.
Nah, you know what it is. Okay, so when I first match with a woman, let's say I match with her, I'm going to introduce myself. That's what my parents taught me to do when I was a kid. Okay, but I'm going to be smooth with it. And, I'm going to say, hey, my name's William. It is a pleasure to meet you. But I'm not going to do that in some boring text message. I'm going to do it with an audio message. And I got to tell you, a lot of women are very impressed when they start receiving audio messages from me. A lot of them don't even know like Bumble can do something like that.
I'm a little wet from the demo myself.
Now, I believe you should always set the date within the first 3 or 4 messages because we don't want to waste our time. Our time is very valuable. My time is the most valuable thing I have. It's very limited and there's such a demand for it.
It's like my dad always said, no matter how rich or poor you are, you still only get 24 hours in a day. And when you're done having days, you don't get to take it with you.
And shout out to him because we all get 24 hours in a day. And what are you choosing to do with it? Me,
See, that's just it. You can't add hours. So you know what you do? You add value to the hours you have.
Okay, so when it comes time to set up the date, it's going to be real simple. You, period, me, period, a drink, period. Let's make this happen.
Hope you're not on your... Oh.
So I like that she has drinks. We can rock with that. Let's see what else we're working with. Swipe right if you love comedians. I don't know, Johnny.
So in other words, everybody swipe right because I'm trying to shotgun blast and see which one of you looks like a sucker.
Well, I'm not here to amuse her. Okay. I'm not a comedian. And that's not one of the 4 dates that we go on with them. So like loving comedians, like, all right. Like after her and I go to Pound Town and she wants to watch something for a little bit, I might watch some TV with her. But here's the thing. When I go over to see a woman, the act of sex should begin in less than 5 minutes after you getting there. You should be kissing her, touching her. You go over to a woman's house and she's got the TV on, you pick up that remote and you shut it off. We're not there for Netflix and chill. We got something a lot more important to do here. So
Spotify and chill could work.
Now, if you got the right playlist, hey, and shout out to Mr. Dog, shout out to Mr. 1950 on Spotify. He's got the Bedroom Bully playlist, and I'll tell you, it puts it down, dog. I'll be rocking with that Mr. 1950 playlist, Bedroom Bully playlist on Spotify.
I have actually heard that, and gentlemen, let me tell you, not only is it a lot more fun, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than Viagra.
So she's saying she loves comedians. I don't have a problem if, like, after I smash her out, if she wants to sit there and watch Netflix for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Well, I get ready to go our separate ways. But I'm not taking her to go see a show. So I don't know. I'm kind of neutral on the love comedians.
Yeah, I mean, so what you're saying is instead of Netflix and chill, we go chill and Netflix.
So she does take some good pictures here. She didn't put too much into the profile. And
Yeah, I
like,
mean, pretty smile's going to get you a little ways, but we need more.
well, Johnny, I
Nice
just
smile.
I'm kind of on the fence about this. What's up, chat? What do you guys think? You think I should swipe left or swipe right on this one? I typically like a little more substance in my profile.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that girl who's really pretty, but she's not like curvy. You know, like it really looks nice. She looks like a pretty girl. She's got a beautiful smile. Profile looks fantastic,
well,
except for the lack of bio.
well, Johnny, you know, we see this all the time. Just because she has a pretty smile, that doesn't mean I'm going to have a good time with her. That doesn't
That's
mean
like
that
we're
her
swiping
and I
for
are
stock photos.
compatible. So, all right,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
going
this
to
might as well be a stock photo.
Johnny, I'm going to swipe left on this one.
Cute girl, nice body.
We're going to pass on her. Now, for those of you who are new and just watching us and new to Johnny Dumbbell, shout out to Johnny Dumbbell. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel. Link in the bio. Johnny does a lot of hard work, and there's a lot of really good fitness stuff on his channel where he's always talking about no equipment, no excuse. And I do a lot of the Johnny Dumbbell workouts myself, about 4 days a week, Johnny. Monday through Thursday,
Awesome,
I do the Johnny Dumbbell workouts. And then Friday and Sunday, I'm doing just regular dumbbell workouts. And I usually take Saturdays off, man. I try to rest a little bit.
Fantastic. Don't forget your cardio, and that goes for all of you guys. Remember, we need 120 to 150 minutes of cardio a week. 20-minute run will get you a good, heart and circulatory system. But if you want to drop fat, the good news is don't run. You don't need it. Go down to a fast walk and give it 30 to 40.
All right, Johnny, I was on a hike date not too long ago, and I definitely need some more cardio in my life. I could tell I've been sitting around all winter, not running on a treadmill, not hiking in the woods. So I'm looking forward to getting back out there, dog.
Well, Bill, there's a couple of core workouts that I have on my channel you should check out. And the rest of you guys, I'm actually about 3/4 of the way through my 10-part series of common myths that you hear about actually going to a public gym and getting fit. Things that I think are misconceptions people have had even before the pandemic, and especially ever since. So hey, peep them out if you get a chance.
All right, Johnny, our next profile this evening is Caitlin. Caitlin's 32. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn how to use OBS, delete these or something, man. All right, Caitlin, 32, Johnny. And we got a bio here.
Bless that bitch.
All right. She says, I'm looking for my person. So if you can't hold/start a conversation or you're not serious, please just leave me alone.
Bless that bitch.
Well, honey, if I ever find your person, I will let him know.
I'm not looking to hook no one. Once your STD or BV, I'm a full-time mother and have a full-time job. So you have to be patient with my schedule.
Ask.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. The whole thing, and I mean, I know where you're going, but I was already out right around the second sentence. The reason I was out by the second sentence is, like most of these ladies' profiles, and if there are any ladies watching, please, for the love of God, pay attention to this. I'm just letting you know that giving a list of things that you won't put up with and giving a list of rules that you expect a guy you haven't even met to follow and putting those kinds of things forth that not only say what I say goes and this is the way it's going to be, but here's a few examples. Ladies, I'm telling you right now, no matter how hot you are, that is penis repellent. Okay? It is penis repellent. We don't like that. I mean, we don't mind if you want to put a list of things that you're not going to put up with, but we expect to hear you talk about that when we meet for drinks. So you can just put those boundaries out there. Or if you must put them in your profile, I don't have an issue with that. But you know what? Maybe give me an idea or two of why I should swipe right on your profile. What do you bring? You've already told me what you don't want me to bring. But number one, you haven't even asked much of what the guy you're looking for, and you've actually asked nothing of yourself by not putting forth what kind of a woman, what kind of a girlfriend, what kind of a lover you would be. And so for me, I don't think I even want to waste money on a drink to find out how much more of this I'm going to listen to. I don't like it. I mean, I'm not saying you don't deserve to have those boundaries, but when that's all you have to talk about and none of the good things, there's no positivity in that.
Well, Johnny, I've been down this road before. And you remember that we had a profile last week, and the woman said you can either have kids or live far away, but not both. That was
I mean,
that was a really solid answer for her
it
profile.
really is.
And it so much so that it stuck out to me, and we're mentioning it a week later. But I
remember it,
mentioned
yeah.
that because when a woman is working just as much as I am and she has kids just like I do, that tells me she does not have the time to date me. I require a lot of time from women. There's a lot of things that I need, and it's just not going to work out.
Well, I mean, and even if there was nothing that I needed, the thing of it is that just like ladies, you want to see that we care. You want to see the loving side of us. You want to see us give you this romantic relationship. Again, we're going to need you to bring something else to the table other than showing up. We want to know what you bring to the table. And listen, a lot of you ladies bring a lot of wonderful things to the table. My current girlfriend brings a lot of wonderful things to the table, or she wouldn't be my current girlfriend. But the thing of it is that she was raised right. She knows how to put those things forward and says, look, this is who I am. This is what it comes with. And I knew that from date number 2.
Let's see what else we got on here. Right now, I just don't think that we're going to be very compatible. Another thing on here says she smokes socially. I don't like women who smoke cigarettes.
Yeah. I mean, again, especially as somebody who has smoked and then quit. I mean, it always smelled bad even when I was a smoker. But man, once you smoke and quit, it is just huge. And I don't even use that word.
I think all we got are pictures.
Those are laden with makeup.
All right, we're going to pass on her. This is not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, once again, ladies, just a public service announcement. Before you decide to call a man ugly, remember that we don't wear concealer nor foundation.
Okay, and
I just learned what those two things meant.
Fellas, like I said, we always talk about the subtleties and nuances and reading in between the lines with these profiles. And she has a little typo here. She says she's not looking to hook. She means not looking to hook up. And it says no one wants your STD or BV.
Okay, and that's the big thing here. First of all, I'm just going to go ahead and break down the first part. Not here for a hookup. Here's the thing. That does two things. That means that if she takes you out for a booty call, that she already told you in the bio that you shouldn't expect sex. But if she does end up biologically sexually attracted to you, and it does happen on the first date, well, there she can say, oh, you were just so hot, you made me break my own rules, and that's where she's going to get in that way. So she's either going to be the foodie or the booty.
Let's see what else.
Do yourselves a favor, gentlemen. If you do run across this girl, do not base your self-worth on either scenario. Don't base your self-worth on anything other than what you think and what you do every day. No one else does that. No one else knows that.
Now, she does say something important here. She says, if you can't hold/start a conversation or you're not serious, please just leave me alone. And I think this is indicative to all the bullshit she's had to deal with being just online. Like, guys don't know how to talk to women. You don't know how to spark their interest. You don't know how to turn on that desire in her. You don't know how to make her fantasize about you. And when she says not being serious, a lot of guys are not upfront about their intentions with women. Johnny, we see this all the time. These guys beat around the bush. They say they're looking for relationships when they're not, and then they just end up cheating on the woman. It's
Or worse
horrible.
yet, they're so nervous about hearing the word no that they approach her as a friend because that way he didn't actually ask her, so she can't actually say no, but then expects her to figure out that he's in front of her face the whole time and, well, why won't you date me? And then, you find out that this whole sneaking under the friend radar thing was not a good strategy, boy. You presented yourself as a friend. She took that at face value. You have no right to sit there and go, why do they always do this to me? No, you don't get to make that complaint. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
sounded a little like Wally Gator for a second there.
No. Caitlin here is a lovely lady, but she's
Yeah.
just not going to be compatible with me. And I don't see much more in this profile for us to break down for the young men that are going to watch us on the replay. So we won't
I mean,
pass
the
on
thing
it.
of it is, and ladies, please, in your bio, I would like to at least see one thing that you would like to tell me about. I'd really like to see 3 to 5 things, but let's face it, we're gonna see that in 1 out of every 1,000 profiles. And that's either gonna be a girl who's been through the ringer or one who, well, might not be that interested. The point is this: if you don't tell me what you bring, if you don't tell me at least something about you, I mean, geez, oh man, at least tell me who your favorite band is. I mean, that doesn't tell me much, but at least it tells me more than what you won't put up with. I mean,
All
you
right,
could say that
Johnny.
too, but
Let me see. I got one here. I can't show the whole profile because, well, you know why, but we'll show a little bit of it and we'll talk a little bit about her bio.
I'm already swiping left on that.
All right, we got Brittany, 37, says she's a general manager. Says single mother of a 7-year-old boy. I'm looking for the fairy tale.
That again. Let's see the picture again.
No, forget the picture, Johnny. Let's
Well,
just
I
talk
might, I
about,
might, I might know her, and that's why I'm kind of.
let's just talk about this bio because when she says stuff like "I'm not DTF," the only thing I could think of is
why the fuck you lying?
That means I'm not DTF for those that I'm not attracted to, because that way I don't have to have the awkward explanation as to why I'm not going back to your place and why you're not coming back to mine. But for those of you that I do decide to get naked in front of and have the old schnook fest, I can always use the whole, well, I normally don't do this. I mean, guys, let me ask you this. How many of you have done the first date thing or have met her the first night and it got to that and she looks at you and says to you, I never do this. I've never done this before. Oh my God, this is crazy. I mean, look, if you bought it, look, that doesn't mean she deserves the Academy Award. We all want to believe that, but that's because we're guys and we have egos and they know it.
she says she's not DTF, and that's probably true to most of the guys she meets. But we know that you cannot explain sexual attraction. She is either going to be into you or not. So she's not DTF to the guys that are into her. And we see that a lot. Women get their pick of the guys that they're not into. Now, she reiterates this again when she says, I don't want to be your friend with benefits. Now, I believe that part, that she doesn't want to be
Oh,
your
no.
friend with benefits. However, I know women, even though they don't want that, they're willing to accept that if that's the only part of you they get, and they need to have some part of you in their life. Then she will be DTF because she will be your friend with benefits, but that's not what she's looking for. It says she's looking for that fairy tale.
Yeah. Aren't we all? Hey, listen, I'm looking for the Steelers to win their 7th Super Bowl ring too. But there's a lot of things that are going to happen in order for that to happen, and it's going to have to be a lot of working together and bringing a lot of different things from a lot of different angles. Relationships are not that different. We just don't tear our ACL in most.
Now it says she's hilarious and she hopes that we are too.
I'm a dad joke ninja, but I'm off the market. Sorry.
All right. Some pictures of her. I can't go any further. Nah, I'm gonna pass on Brittany here. I'm all good.
I got to tell you, there doesn't seem to be any real effort in these pictures to show anything attractive too. Now, to be fair, she's probably not a professional photographer anyway, but I mean, look, neither am I, and I understand the importance of lighting. I've got a ring light for crying out loud. What this girl is doing is she's taking pictures of herself in the dark. Now, I don't think she's an unattractive woman, but is that because she thinks she is? Because that could be some insecurity issues that, frankly, I've dealt with enough in relationships, and I am not qualified to unbag those for you. Okay. Number two, the other pictures that are well lit are just kind of that wax statue facial expression. I didn't see a whole lot of smiling. I didn't see a whole lot of personality in any of those. It was just kind of, and then the one off to the side.
Yeah. All right, let me check out our next profile.
To be fair, I don't look that good with that expression on my face either. So,
all right, hold on one second. I can't show this one. Let me see about this one. All right. Now, next profile, Johnny, we got Jess. She's 36 years old. I don't see filter, but I do see a lot of makeup on there.
that is a ton of makeup. Like Jack Nicholson didn't wear that much makeup in Batman.
Now, gentlemen, the weather is getting better. You want to see what some of these women look like? Take them swimming. Let them get in the water and see what they look like afterwards.
Yeah, and you know what? That is the only reason that I advocate for the swimming date. The first thing. But you got to qualify these girls for that. Not all of them. I mean, we're only talking about the ones who wear 8 pounds of makeup. If you guys do this, please get back to us. Get in the comments. We want to know about it.
Absolutely. Hit us both up in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. All right. Jess, 36.
Tag me,
Johnny.
I might not see it.
Johnny, there's no bio in here.
No bio, no face.
She drinks socially. Okay. I might be able to work with that. She works out sometimes.
Okay, now see, that's what I'm
going to need a little more consistency.
Okay, so the asshole in me wants to swipe right just so we can have a conversation so that I can see what she means by sometimes. That's literally my only question. That's the only curiosity she even inspires me with.
Okay.
Just because I want to know what she means by sometimes. Are we talking quarterly? Bi-weekly? What are we doing?
My perfect Sundays include Steelers football.
All right.
And time with family. My simple pleasures are good food, summer weather, and traveling.
That's right.
You want me to swipe right on her because she's a Steelers fan, John?
Oh, no, I'm not interested at all. I was swipe left, but I'm just saying it's pretty cool she's a Steelers.
Win me over by being your genuine self. I like how she says that.
Bless that bitch.
Gentlemen, you should all be your genuine, authentic self every time you're having an interaction with a woman.
I'm going to interject one thing, though. That does not mean be vulnerable. That does not mean show vulnerabilities on the first date, second date, third date. I wouldn't even show vulnerability 1, 2, 3, 5 years into a relationship. Here is the thing. As a masculine man, it is not your role to be vulnerable. It is your role to be strong. It is your role to be protective. It is your role to be a leader. Leaders show vulnerability to their peers, not to the ones they're leading. If I want to show vulnerability, I'm going to go out and have a beer with Bill here. And I'll tell him every freaking hang up that I've ever had because I know he won't hold that against me. But if I were to do that with my woman, if I were to do that with somebody who's looking to me to be a leader, who's trusting me, it's not because she's materialistic. It's not because she would think to herself, oh, what a weakling. I don't want to be with him. It's not that at all. It's that if she thinks that your vulnerability makes you incapable of leading her, whether she wants to or not, she just might lose that respect for you. She just might lose that expectation of your ability to be the leader that, frankly, makes her biologically attracted to you in the first place. Girl I'm dating right now, do you know what the first thing she saw me do was? I was leading a workout class with 20 people in it. That was her first impression of me. It was the first time she ever saw me in her life. So the first thing she ever saw me do was lead. Here we are 2 years later. I'm just letting you guys know, vulnerability is not something you throw out on the table, not early on, not halfway through, and I would say maybe as little as possible with her.
Well, Johnny, we know, but a lot of these young guys, they don't know that once a woman loses respect for them, it is almost impossible for them to regain it.
And look, when she loses respect for you, it doesn't mean that she's disrespectful necessarily. Now, she might act disrespectfully once that's happened, but nobody ever intends to lose respect for anybody. She loses respect for you because she sees you as too vulnerable to be that strong man that she's hoping that you'll be, to be that leader that, makes her tingle when she sees you, to be that leader that makes her feel special, that she is the one that has your attention. You show that vulnerability and she interprets that as weakness, your attention is not going to mean that much to her, and it will go downhill from there.
All right, Johnny, I think I'm gonna swipe right on her. I mean, there's not a lot in her profile here, but she did fill out a few things.
Ladies
Not,
and gentlemen, we're going to set up a support group just in case Bill falls in love with this girl.
no, absolutely not, bro. Not
I'm
even
just
that
playing.
tight. But hey, you like me to swipe on 3 women every week. Everybody,
That's our
Johnny
goal. That's our
Dumbbell
goal.
sets goals for everybody. So Johnny sets a goal for me that I need to be a little more open-minded because I'm kind of picky when it comes to the women. And he wants me to swipe on 3 profiles every week. So we're going to give her a shot here and
Bless that bitch.
I guess I got to be a little less picky, but like Bill said, a plan needs to be made. I wanted to make more money, so what did I do? My boss and I sat down and decided I wanted to have a certain number of consultations per month. Last month, we set a goal of 4. I had 6. Now, I have a little bit of room left. You can get a consultation with me online, leave a comment below, contact me directly. I could even do virtual training. So, throwing that out.
all right. Check this one out.
Since Facebook doesn't like to show my reels.
Facebook's not showing you love, Johnny.
Oh, no, Facebook's straight up like, look, if you don't give us money, screw you. If you do give us money, we don't care how bad your content is.
All right. Well, the next profile just has one picture and their location, so I'm going on to the next one. All right, Johnny. Next up, we got Renee. She's 32. She says, sick of dating apps, but here I am because apparently my future husband isn't going to magically appear in my living room. I'm an old soul, all about intentional dating, looking for someone who knows what they want.
Bless that bitch.
So she drinks socially. She says she's
We all.
active. Okay. So what I'm seeing here, sick of dating apps. Future husband isn't going to magically appear in her living room. I'm an old soul, intentional dating. I'm picking up that maybe she has tempered her expectations when it comes to dating a little.
But you know something? Here's what I was touching on earlier. Even with the girls who were, frankly, a lot prettier than this one, but I swiped left on them because I tend to swipe, and I mean, God, I haven't online dated in at least 4 or 5 years, but when I did, my biggest thing was I had swipe criteria. I called it swipeteria. Made it up myself. I only swipe right on profiles that actually tell me what makes her attractive or what she can tell me might make me want to date her. I don't want your laundry list of things that piss you off. I don't need your laundry list of things that you don't want in a relationship. Frankly, if you're out there looking for a high value man, he should already have those things as part of his repertoire anyway. And frankly, the problem that a lot of modern women are having is that those guys are already snatched up anyway. So what are we left with? We are left with the women who actually feel like putting an effort into telling us what they bring to the table, or the women who just got out of a relationship 2 weeks ago, but God forbid they be alone, but they want to make sure that they put out right quick that they're not going to tolerate this, that they're not looking for that. And look, I think that's great. But once again, I don't mind that being included, but at least include a little something about why I should even swipe right on you. You act as if you putting a picture with a couple of words in your bio, if we're lucky, should be enough to make us say, hey, I'm interested. But that same woman who posts something like this will go, or I'm not this, but something like that, will go through her profiles and go, he doesn't really tell me what he's putting out forth. He doesn't really show me what he's, well, no kidding. I mean, we have to. And if we're not doing that, we're not going to be successful. But gentlemen, here's the thing. These ladies are out here putting up pictures. And if they're hot enough, they don't think they need a bio. So what you're doing is essentially swiping on the looks. If you're doing that, they already know that just by messaging you, you are happy to just be getting a message from her. If she even decides to grace you with her presence, you should be happy that she decided to meet you in person, sitting across the table just 3.5 feet away. Why did you not roll out the red carpet? Once again, we have to give you a reason to talk to us. Women need a reason to have sex. Most of us guys, unfortunately, need a time and place. And they know that. Don't fall for it.
Says she quotes too much from The Office.
And I'm with her on that one. Also, that's what she said.
We'll get along if you have a great sense of humor and open to a good conversation.
She would get a right swipe just because she is a big fan of The Office, and so am I.
Yes, Daddy.
Although, here's the thing, though. There is one stipulation. Does she like the British Office with Ricky Gervais or the American one with Steve Carell? I've seen both. I'm going to have to go with USA.
Okay, it says if I can only eat one meal for the rest of my life, it would be Maryland blue crabs.
Had the Maryland blue crab cake. They are fantastic. By the way, shout out to Woley's Fish Market here in Pittsburgh. I train one of the guys that owns the place, and let me tell you what, the best chicken, fish, the best meat, and poultry, the best everything in the world. If you're in Pittsburgh in the Strip District, you got to check it out.
All right, what do you think, Johnny? You think I should swipe left on this one or right on this one?
I'm not attracted to her, so I'm going to say swipe left. But I got to tell you, I really do appreciate the effort she put forth in the bio, which wasn't a. And here's the thing, I'm setting the bar pretty low for this. But the important thing is that at least she kind of sort of put something alluring in there that gives an idea of who and how she is, which is more than you could say for. I got to say, what, about 90 to 95% of these, Bill?
Yeah. Yeah. Lovely lady, just not the one for me. All right, give me a second here and I will preview Spartan's profile.
I feel like, you know what, though, honestly, I like her profile. And I mean, look, I wouldn't date her, but I would love to set her up with somebody. I think she deserves fun.
All right, let's check out our next lovely lady this evening, John. Next up, we have Spartan, who's 35. About Spartan. Intentionally left blank. Let's truly find out about each other.
Bless that bitch.
Okay, now see, there is a certain sense of uniquity in that, and I like that.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out the good way. I like that.
Yeah. It says I have one child and won't have more. Says says you're going to church with me. I don't like women telling me what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, see, I don't care about the church part. I care about the you're going part.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit upset about that. She's gonna have to be like,
look, I mean, like a lot of people, I could use me some church, but don't be telling me where I'm going.
Phone conversations over texting every time, and that's because she wants to hear your voice.
Bless that bitch.
Okay, but the thing of it is, she already lost me at you're going. But unfortunately, the rest of it sounds great. But she kind of showed who she is and who she's going to be when you actually meet her in person. Remember, even if it's just one little subtlety, when a woman actually writes a bio, she writes the bio the way she writes the bio for a reason, and she words it the way she words it for a reason. If a woman is going to take the time to put herself out there with not only photos, but her words, best believe, and listen, and I know this for a fact, I used to watch my ex-wife write somebody a 3-sentence text message and spend the next 20 minutes revising and changing the wording in it because she was so concerned about how it would come across. So imagine how much more neurotic one might be about putting forth a picture and a bio on a dating site. My thing is this: if it's that stressful, don't do it. Go the old-fashioned way. Come on, you're a lady. You can walk into a bar and get a guy to talk to you, in most cases. And if you don't think that's possible, I have to reevaluate. It never.
All right, Johnny. Yeah, I don't like that she says you're going to church with me.
And to be
I'm
fair,
not
it has nothing. It's not about the church. If
right
she
because
were to
I might
say,
go to church with a woman.
yeah,
Wouldn't have any problems with that. But
I mean,
her telling me what I'm going to
you're
do.
going. Yeah, you could say to me, you're going to Chuck E. Cheese with me. And as much as I love Chuck E. Cheese, I got to wonder, like, why am I going? Yeah.
All right. Now, one thing you need to know about me is that I hate inconsistency.
Bless that bitch.
I'm a trainer. Of course, I hate it.
I'm a man. I hate inconsistency. Yeah, I
So,
pride myself on how consistent I am. Johnny,
so
we consistently live stream on Mondays and Thursdays.
put that in your memory banks, folks. It is the same time each night.
9:35 on Mondays and Thursdays. That woman might leave you, but me and Johnny Dumbbell won't. We'll be here next Thursday giving y'all the game.
In fact, when she does leave you, not only are we going to help you pick up the pieces, we're going to put them back together to help you figure out where that went wrong and how not to do that in the future, and how to cut the girl who broke it into pieces in the first place completely out of your life. No contact. The only way to go.
She says, hopefully you're also really into being outdoors road trips.
Bruh.
Now, I know I go out on a lot of outdoor dates. And I can tell you, Johnny, when I'm hiking with women, they're rarely dressed like this. I don't see
But you
that.
could, yes,
Yeah, those kind of boots and no, that ain't
Mhm.
what you wear out in the woods, dog.
that would not be comfortable.
My healthy obsession is roasted snapper.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, another giggity moment that Bill and I are far too mature to indulge in.
All right, overall, Johnny, I'm not seeing anything here on Spartan's profile that makes me want to go have a drink with her.
Yeah, I mean, she might be a great girl, but the thing of it is that maybe she needs a little help accentuating that. And young lady, you are watching this show. We are not saying that you are not marketable. We're saying that you are, but you're not putting forth your best face. We think you could do better. So comment below, shoot one of us a message, and I really think we can help you rewrite this a little bit better.
All right, Johnny. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pass on Spartan. Give me a second. I'll preview Victoria here.
And we say that just in case they're watching because this is, local slash regional still. And so there is a good chance that people in his local area and his regional area are probably going to be watching this. And, maybe she's on, maybe she's not. But remember, we are here to promote knowledge and understanding as well as improve dynamics between men and women when it comes to relationships. It's not about hating the opposite gender. As a matter of fact, it's about loving the opposite gender so much so that we want to be able to understand their thoughts patterns, their actions, the way they do things, so that we can better communicate and relate. And maybe for once, bring the divorce rate back down in this country where it belongs by having healthy relationships based on love, mutual respect, and understanding.
All right, Johnny. Let me check out our next profile here. Okay. All right, Johnny. We got Victoria. She's 36. Two jobs and still find time to love life.
Bless that bitch.
I swear too much. Laugh at shit I
Yeah, she
probably
has 2 jobs.
shouldn't, and believe inappropriate humor is a love language.
So she told you that she's hardworking. She told you that no matter how hardworking she is, she has spare time. And on top of that, she's telling you that she has a sense of humor, and she's telling you what kind of sense of humor she has. Right now, she's 3 for 3 in my book. What do you got? What else has she got there?
Big on learning random facts. Deep
Yeah, all right,
dive
4 for 4.
deep dives into weird topics
5.
and vibing with people who can keep up.
Jones, man. Bill, I got to tell you, man,
Sounds good.
I'm in a
Let's
great
fuck
situation
around and
myself, and if you
find
want to
out.
find yourself in a
Bless
great
that
situation,
bitch.
I honestly not only want to see you swipe right on her, I think that on our Monday episode, if you do exchange messages with her, I would love a follow up with you. This girl seems, and look, she might be capping. There's a very good chance she might be capping on everything. But if she is insightful, if nothing else. She would know that those are the things that we're looking for. And there's even more here. There's more information here. Bill, what do we got?
Okay, my favorite way to do nothing is nap, and take another nap.
All right, but we're going to need music to go with. Let's
Okay.
add that.
Swipe right if you. Just a heads up, I'm healing from a broken foot and can't walk on it. Meeting in person will have to wait a few weeks, but I'm open to chatting in the meantime.
Well, now, and then see right there, that might be capped. There is a chance that that could just be, hey, let's just talk until my foot heals, and in the meantime, I'm having trouble paying medical bills. Send me money. I could. So listen, the yellow
Stop the
flag,
cap.
that could be a yellow flag there. It might not be, but I would also like to know when was the last time she revised the profile.
Yeah.
Is she up and moving around and forgot about this? Because look, when I was younger, I used to put up dating profiles, and then things would happen, and I'd forget I had them up. I had one girlfriend I was dating for a year come after me and say, "Why do you have an old profile?" I'm like, "Holy shit, I forgot I had it. I'll delete it right now," and I did. you know, yeah. I mean, there is a chance that that could be capped, but I got to tell you, that bio sounded fantastic. Now, here's the thing: I would say swipe right, but I would say make a mental note of what you saw in the injured foot paragraph. Maybe there's something to it, maybe there isn't. But if a broken foot lasts 3, 4, 5, 6 months, I would say either there's some serious complications, you should be offering assistance, kidding, or there might be something a little bit screwy. But other than that, I mean, the bio sounded great. I
All right.
like
Yeah.
the glasses look, especially in the red top. Um, it's kind of like Jessica Rabbit, except she reads. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
The broken foot thing, she could be in a wheelchair on crutches.
Pretty sure she's
Believe me,
not.
when I start talking to her and communicating with her, she will show up on crutches to have a coffee with me somewhere.
Well, but here's the other thing. Could it be that her foot is hurt for the guy she's not attracted to, but if she is attracted to you, oh yeah, man, just cut the cast off.
Nah, I doubt it. I doubt she'd go through that much trouble.
It does happen.
At 30.
Not with this girl. This girl seems pretty. I would say the girl's at least conversation.
I'm swiping right. She has 2
yeah.
jobs. She has a good work ethic.
Mhm.
She laughs at shit she probably shouldn't. Weird topics. Okay, we'll
Dude,
see.
I saw 5 green flags and 1 yellow flag.
All right, so
That's a right swipe.
yeah, we're swiping on her, Johnny.
Bless that bitch.
All right, we'll see what happens, and I will follow up Monday if her and I match.
Ladies and gentlemen, you might be laying your eyes on Bill's future wife. Listen, guys. I joke. But guys, no matter how strongly you think you feel about a beautiful woman, never put the cart before the horse. We like what we saw in the bio, but here's the thing: you got to remember, this does not mean that Bill is going to approach her on his knees with a bouquet of flowers. This means that she got her foot in the door. This means that she got him to raise 1, not 2 eyebrows. Stay cool, and remember, she's still, no matter how perfect she seems, still has to fit your program, and you need to be in touch with what your program is so you can even tell whether she fits in the first place or you're just chasing some girl because she looks good in a bikini. or in this case, red topic glass.
All right, Johnny. Next up, we got Christina. She's 41.
I've had bad luck with that first name.
Looking to meet new people, have fun, and see where things go. In an open ENM marriage. Ask me about it.
Bless that bitch.
Okay, so this is clearly a casual hookup. She's not looking. Yeah. She is not looking to be your wife. She's not looking to be your number one. She's not even looking to be your number two. She's looking to be that guy that every once in a while the husband and her rent a hotel room with a video camera and a tripod, and you might be the guy they call. This is some upside down pineapple by your front door kind of stuff. And those of you who know, you know. But yeah, this is a swipe right for fun, but this is definitely not a potential romantic long term thing here.
All right, let's see what else we got here. The world would be a better place with more kindness and curiosity.
Stop the cap.
Or
And I'm not saying the world wouldn't be better with some of that. I'm just saying.
no, we're saying that literally everybody says that.
line. Yeah. If I could bring back one trend, it would be playing my favorite jam as the intro to my voicemail.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and ride with her on that one. I mean, I used to do that with my pager.
All right.
Listen, anybody born after say 1990, I'm so sorry. You will never know the pleasure of owning a pager, of going to a skating rink and playing outrun, standing up with a roller skate on. I mean, those,
I don't know, Johnny. She's not really my type. Says essential to a first date is great conversation. It easily flows, not forced. Also happens if you smell good too. I would knock that out the park. I always smell amazing.
listen, and take it from a guy who's had an issue with this in his past. That is such an underrated thing. You need to develop your own scent. And if that means going to whatever store sells a whole bunch of different varieties of cologne and spending an hour or two just smell testing everything, remember, put it on cardboard, not yourself. You're not going to be able to smell through the conglomeration of things you've tried if you go through 3 or 4 of those. You think you're going to keep, smelling something different. But man, take the time, develop a scent, find a favorite cologne, find a favorite deodorant, find a favorite body wash. And also, in the showering process, don't just soap yourself up. Get a wash rag, not a loofah, a wash rag. This will get the dead skin cells off you. This will keep you, fresh. And not only smelling fresh, but you will feel a lot better than you would if you used soap.
Johnny, do I go ahead?
I know that sounds basic. But listen, there are a lot of guys out there who, need that advice. And here it is. It doesn't mean you're grimy. It doesn't mean you're gross. It just means maybe you haven't been doing it the best for you.
All right, so I'm going to pass on having a drink with her and potentially her husband. That's a little weird, but now I have dated women who are in ethically non-monogamous relationships before, and they, have permission to do this sort of thing. And Johnny, I've even been in situations where the women were allowed to bring me back to their house. Now, that was always a little weird to me, like having her significant other in another room. You know what? Let's just skip over that.
Yeah, there's something messed up about that. There's something underneath the surface. There's something that she is going to wait until she meets you in person to tell you. Now, no. I don't want you to go ahead and I don't want you to get rid of this profile just yet. Guys, as somebody who's been almost caught in a situation like this, there's one of two things that are going to happen. Either A, she is going to have that awkward situation with her significant other there, or B, there's some kind of scheme that is going to happen. There's something that's going to happen that's going to involve you losing a lot of money or you losing something.
No, Johnny, I don't think so. I think this kind of thing happens more than you think for a number of reasons.
It probably does.
It could be that her husband is having erectile dysfunction problems and can't please her in the bedroom properly, but loves her so much that he can't lose her. So he has given her permission to play outside of the marriage. There's nothing wrong with that. It
And I would
could,
have no problem with that if he didn't have to be sitting by the edge of the bed.
a lot of them don't. Like I said, I have some experience in this, and what you're referring to is a cuckold situation, and just
That's what I thought it
because
was. Yeah.
no, just because they're in an ethically non-monogamous marriage doesn't mean that it's a cuckold situation. He
Okay, so
could
now
be
see,
out.
I automatically assume that.
Now he could be out smashing other women too. It's 41. So if he's around her age, around our age, then maybe he's just out living the lifestyle. So they have an open marriage. She's on a dating site. She's being very honest, open, and upfront about it. So I think she's really just looking for people to rail her out, dog. That's it.
And you know what? That's very possible. And let me take this opportunity to tell you guys, I found myself in a situation similar to this. When you hit the age of, say, 35, 37, gentlemen, and you may have seen this already, or you may be about to see this, you are going to start seeing a little bit more of this particular mentality. Open marriages, what was the acronym you saw in there?
ENM, ethically
ENM. Okay.
non-monogamous.
So you'll see a lot of that. But you got to understand, there are two types of ethically non-monogamous types of women out there. There are the ones whose husbands know that they're ethically non-monogamous, and there are those whose husbands don't know they're being ethically non-monogamous. I ran into that about 4 years ago. The good news is that he was done with her anyway. But the point of it is that she was going to hide that. So
Well,
remember that Bill, I got to tell you about that one, by the way. But
Johnny,
anyway,
okay,
listen,
then they're not ethically non-monogamous then.
they're unethically, yes.
Yeah, they're being unethical about it. And I run into situations like that too, where I'll meet women, they're clearly attracted to me, they lie to me and mislead me about not having someone else in their life, but it'll come out eventually. They'll have to cancel dates, so things will come up. They'll be really weird about inviting me over to their house. Women try to get me over to their house. So when I come across one that's showing me or acting like she has a high level of interest in me, but is canceling at the last minute or has excuses, there's usually a reason for it. And like I said, it's not always ethically non monogamous. Sometimes they're just non monogamous.
And as Bill here says, don't forget, when he tells you how he approaches the woman and gets her phone number, he does not say, "Do you have a boyfriend?" He does not say, "Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a husband? Do you have somebody?" He
Nope.
asks you what question?
I ask these women if they have anybody in their life that would have a problem if I wanted to give them my number, because we don't ask women for their number.
Well, no, I
It's
do,
something that
but
we
but my version of that would be, do you have anybody in your life that would mind if I got your number? But either way,
Yeah.
he doesn't ask if she's attached. He asks if there's anybody who would have an issue with it.
Right.
That could be
Now,
her, that could be her partner, that could
yeah,
be her fat friend that decided that for her that she's not interested.
yeah.
We've all
Or
run into that girl too.
if she's not feeling me, she can just make up a boyfriend. And it's like, oh, hey, cool. Best of luck in your endeavors, blessings on your journey. It don't have to be just because she shoots you down or she's not interested in you. You don't have to feel any way about it. And let
Right.
me tell you, when you handle that with grace and dignity, what can happen is she'll put you on with one of her friends or another girl in that group, somebody she knows will be attracted to you. And she's not going to be like, oh, well, he did this, he did that, he's this type, so it's important how you handle yourself after you find out that she is not interested in you the way that you are her.
Yeah. I mean, and for me, I might move on so fast she might not have the chance to put me on to one of her friends, because when I'm single and I'm looking, and if I'm really looking, look, when I don't have a girlfriend and when I don't have anything going on with anybody and I'm out with my buddy Frankie or somebody like that, if I really want it bad enough, let's face it, when you're broke and the rent's due, most of us find a way to get that money, don't we? When you are down and out, Why do we have so much trouble talking to girls? I mean, think about it. Most of us guys, 9 out of 10 of us guys, when our back is against the wall, we're facing eviction, utility disconnect, our phone being shut off, whatever it happens to be, we find a way to get that fucking money, don't we? Even if it means going a day or two without whatever it was that we were paying for. But the point is, we find a way to get it done. But when we are looking for a relationship, we are looking for a connection, we are looking for respect, we are looking for a situation in which we can leave. Some of you sit down and go, nah, I'm done. They're all crazy. You don't look at what you could do. You don't look at how you could make yourself better. You don't look at yourself by you don't look at the situation and say to yourself, I need to work on myself. I need to learn game, and just for sake of feeling better, I need to hit the gym. You do those 3 things and make sure that they are about you and no one else. I promise you, you might need to hire a bodyguard to keep them away. Work on yourself, boys. Work on yourself every day.
All right, Johnny.
Every day.
Now, I didn't match with anybody live on stream tonight, but that doesn't mean that I won't match with them over the next few days once they get on and start going through their profiles. My profile is set up pretty nicely, and we'll get into that at some point over the summer. I'll share my profile, and as we continue and get further into this, I'm even going to share some of these DMs, and I think I found a way to respectfully block out who these women are. And I'm just trying to, I want young men to be able to learn from it and apply it to their own life. So I need to give them examples, specific examples. So we're going to do some of that coming up too. So
yeah, and in the future, what I would like to do for you guys is I think that we should make one of these Thursday nights. We can go ahead and skip looking at the profiles. And what I would like to do is I would like to show you guys, and I'll do the show by myself if I have to, but I doubt that I will, is the anatomy of a profile. Kinds of things that we think that you should include in a profile to make yourself more visible, make you catch their eye more, to chase that dream until that dream catches you. We can show you how to write that kind of a profile, fellas.
now, Johnny, I like that. Instead of us breaking down women's profile, let's take a Thursday and show these guys how to write a consistent profile. I like that. That's a great idea, man. Shout out to you, Johnny Dumbbell. Hey, link in the bio. Go to Johnny's channel and show him some love. Don't forget to like the stream. Subscribe to our channels for more of this content. We break down these women's profiles every single week. We want you guys to learn to read between the lines, to the subtleties and nuances. And we're here to show you that the things that they're saying publicly, that's not what they respond to. They don't always mean that. So,
and they're not being deceptive on purpose, just how they're wired.
yeah.
Just like we're wired a certain way, they're wired a certain way. We are wired to be dominant. We are wired to be masculine. We are wired to be alpha. We are wired to get by on our speed, strength, and know-how. They are, and logic. They are programmed to get by their intelligence, their intuition, and their sense of where is danger and how do I avoid it. Unless they are very good at it.
All right, so Johnny, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll be back Monday night. And again, I just want to say thank you to everybody watching. We appreciate you. We are grateful for you. And thank you, Rumble. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Facebook, IG, TikTok, for showing us some love. We're trying to get out there. So we'll be back Monday night. All right, Johnny, we out, man. We done here.
We got a great topic for that. Yep, absolutely. See you guys. Thank you so much. Love you.
Yep, we out.